Put it back on the dog's leg. Here we go. I'm going to start to move that forward. Now, if I get wrinkles along the edge, I don't worry about that too much because I'm going to trim those out anyway. Here we go. Now we're getting it. So remember, we're going to come down through here, make a little cut line, and come down that way. So that's not going to affect us. Good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and take a wrap, and let's put a wrap around this. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. You can apply a little tension. Because this material is warm, it will actually kind of stretch and shape itself, which is nice so that you don't have to do all the work. Remember, we're not going for perfect, we're going for functional. Now you can see we've got our basic shape. This little bit of a gap here isn't too bad, and actually we want to roll this edge just a little bit, so I'm okay with that. If you look, now I know you can't do this with your own patient, but just for demonstration purposes, you can see how we've got this edge we're going to be able to trim. This edge should be just about perfect when we come down through there. So we want to come up about 50%, a little bit more if we can. So I'm going to come through with my marker, and I'm going to start marking where I want to cut. Okay. So we'll take that off the leg. We can put that in the water, warm it up just a skosh. And that allows us to go ahead and trim it. Remember, you can always come in and rub your edges and smooth them out. All right, while that's still malleable, I'm going to put it back on the leg. It's not very hot. Get that lined up where we want it. All right, starting to look good. So I can come in with my marker from the back of the leg, and I know that I need to do a little trimming here. We're going to trim this edge off. I'm going to trim that edge off. Come back with my scissors. So this is just a bit of a process. I'm going to clean this up and make it look better. Remember, round edges are your friends. Sharp edges cause issues. Heat this plastic up and trim it a little bit. All right, and just as you're doing your work, you continually go back and fit it on the dog to make sure that it's beginning to do what you want it to. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I can feel down the inside of this that I need to trim some off. You could take this dog and lay them in their other lateral so that you could see what was going on the inside. But I would suggest that you leave them in one place. It's just easier. Once they get up, sometimes it becomes harder to get them to lay back down. But I can feel here that I need to trim some of this edge off, and then I'll show that to you guys, and we should be coming down just about there. Can almost, I don't know, there's a break point right here, right where it's coming across this ankle, and that's really where we need to trim that. So I'm going to get that warm so I can trim that off. Now, remember, I'm taking off big chunks here because I've done this a few times. It's okay to take off little bits at a time until you feel like you got it right. And so right there, I just changed my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take quite that much off yet until I refit it. So it's still a little flexible, a little pliable. That's good. Now we're getting there. Put that on the leg. So that feels good. So we need to bring this forward a little bit, and we'll do that in just a second. Take a look at the other side. That's good. If I would have cut all this off, I'd have probably cut off too much. We need to round that corner, and we'll be about 50% there. Fit it back on the leg. Feel where our neoprene is. We're good on the neoprene. We're good all the way around there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to warm this back up, and I'm going to first I'm going to trim this upper edge and make that a little straighter. So if we get up into the gastroc, as the dog walks, it will try to push the brace down. So I'm going to come through. You guys can see that line that I've created. See how that really starts to flare? We're going to cut that off so that we're not applying so much pressure. There we go. To the back side of that gastroc. Go ahead and round that edge. If it starts to get a little confusing, what's top and bottom, come in with an arrow and let you know what up is, and you can write lateral on the side. That way you won't get too confused. Okay, so that's starting to look very nice. Sits right on top of the ankle. I'll flip it over so that you guys can see the other side as well. We've got control. So here's the bones running right down through there. So that's good. We're going to pop this one in the water. Hang on to it so you can see it's gotten real pliable again. So I wanted to heat it up good because I'm going to get it to conform.